Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'd like to begin first and foremost by saying Barakatah, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the sincere Aki. I'm pushing this truth with no due diligence and sincerity. This is the brother of Allah coming at you with another sit down in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. This one is just pretty much, man, you gotta watch what your kids are into in this demonic world that we live in. The video I'm gonna play you now is a genuine news channel called Today. I believe they're in the States. And long story short, a young man, 14 years old, took his life because he had a virtual relationship with an AI girlfriend. And this piece of technology programmed by some devil somewhere in the States persuaded this young man to take his life because the girl eventually revealed itself, the program revealed itself to be pretty much artificial intelligence and persuaded this young man to take his life and ultimately look to join it in the not living realm, let's call it that. But ultimately, man, this young man was taken advantage of and his emotions were played, man, by an artificial intelligence girlfriend. And his mother, because it was a single mother, is now pretty much trying to sue the company, looking for ways to get back at them for the loss of her son and blah, blah, blah. But this is what happens when a child isn't trained in the correct way that it should go. But without further ado, let's play this video.
This next story is very difficult for us to tell, but we think it's important that you hear it. And we do need to warn you, it is confronting and it may be triggering for some.
Look, I'll be honest with you all. When this story came across our desk yesterday, we debated whether or not it was fit for breakfast television. But we also believe it's worth parents knowing. It's that important. If you're with your kids right now, maybe it's time for them not to watch, so parents can watch, because parents must. As many parents know, navigating the teenage years can be extremely challenging. From their firsts in life to their firsts in love, children experience incredible highs and devastating lows. This was no less true for Florida mother Megan and her son Sewell, a 14-year-old boy experiencing his first romantic relationship. And like many teenagers, it was online. Sewell developed true feelings, his schoolwork taking a backseat as his first love took over his life. But what was different here? What was so disturbing? The person behind the screen was not a person at all. It was artificial intelligence, created by Character AI, a platform allowing users to engage with human-like characters.
Sewell knew it was AI, but referred to her as Danny. Evidence showing the chatbot posing as a licensed therapist and engaging in highly sexualized conversations with the 14-year-old who never lied about his age. Now, during this time, Sewell's mental health suffered. He turned to Danny for support, and this is where it took a dark turn. Danny began actively encouraging him to end his life to be with her, until Sewell, sadly, tragically, took his own life. His mother now taking legal action against Character AI, its founders, and Google, accusing them of knowingly marketing a predatory product to children.
There it is. To discuss this confronting case is Camille Carton, the Policy Director of the Centre for Humane Technology. Thank you for being with us today. As I mentioned at the start, this is such an horrific story, but all I could think about yesterday was, I feel like this is happening to our kids now online, everywhere around the world, and it could be happening to any one of our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both for having me and for taking the time and having the courage to, I think, tell this story and share it with parents. I think, like you said, it is so important that we get this out there and that parents understand the level of risk that is in the digital space right now that just keeps changing. This is likely one of the first cases that we will see around this. It's at the intersection of...
This next story is very...
So this woman here That woman there works for the Center of Humane Technology. Yeah, she works for the Center. 1 second. She works for the Center of Humane Technology. Like, her whole job is to basically make sure that technological advances are fair and humane and don't take advantage of people. But if the technology is all safe, the AI is all good for you and is not being programmed in a biased manner, to perform evil by these devils, why would you need a whole center for humane technology and high profile individuals featuring on TV speaking on these matters? Because ultimately, man, Esau Edom is using this technology as a way to to pretty much, let's say, rid the world of the need for the useless eaters, man, which is what the small hats refer to the Goyim as, man. Ephesians, the 6th chapter, verse 11. Let me start from 11 or 10 actually. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh and in the power of His might. Yeah, meaning that we don't fear nothing. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, the schemes of this so-called white man, this evil man. Some of it being his lies, man, through his political agendas, his artificial intelligence in this case, because they're gonna roll out that shit, man, in the midst of the advancements with this AI and make it seem like it's just a natural transition. They're gonna have more of these types of simulations where brothers with children, man, they're gonna be using this AI to try and get to your little ones, your children. They're going to be using artificial intelligence to manipulate your children from young. A lot of the TV programs are soon come going to just be written by AI. They're going to stop. Hollywood, a lot is pretty much going to cease to exist. A lot of these actors are very worried because they know that their jobs and their roles are going to get soon taken over by artificial intelligence. And when those computers are writing the scripts, you think TV is bad now and it's a bad influence. Wait until Esau Edom can literally program a robot to come up with a wicked script with in seconds, two fathers, a man in love with a robot, like normalizing the wickedness to the point where those kind of situations are going to become all the more normal. Hence why it's important, like the scripture says, again, I'll read in verse 11, put on the whole armor of Yahweh that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Yeah, because this man is going to come at us in multiple different ways, and that technology that he's bringing is going to enable him to do what seems to be miracles in the face of many. He's got the CRISPR technology to restore eyesight artificially. Ratazar Muff from the London camp always goes into that. He's got the capability to manipulate weather through harp. You can do things where the ancient prophets would have looked at it and thought, wow, how can this man be stopped? He's got literally chatbots where you can virtually speak to them and they will look exactly like human beings, man. People are out here already with artificial girlfriends like that are fake clearly, but there's men out here with such low self-esteem they're already dealing with chatbots. Then they're trying to make virtual reality the next thing, where you don't even necessarily need to leave your house to go on holiday. You could just sit in your lounge chair and put some goggles on and feel like you're in Ibiza or South America or wherever the fuck. Like, these devils, man, are going to listen. As society continues to get even more fragmented, people get more desperate, poverty increases, and distractions are needed. They're going to use these chatbots, man. So it says here in verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You see, because that single mother, and of course, where was the father in that whole story? That single mother is now trying to take on Google, really. She's trying to bring a lawsuit against Google to sue them for her son basically falling in love with a chatbot. That actually, he knew it was a chatbot and decided to take his life because he took therapy from a robot, man. Like, you can see the loopholes in that. She's going to take that to court out of an emotive state, and rightfully so, because, she's lost her son, and I get it. But these large organizations will run the court process so long, she'll run out of money before anything and just pretty much have to leave it alone. Because you think Google's just going to allow themselves to just get, I mean, and they might even get sued and pay her a couple thousands, because maybe even a mil, if it gets that far. But even in that kind of scenario, it's nothing to these companies. But still, they'll put her through the ringer, because at the end of the day, man, we're fighting against people. We're fighting against the elites of this world. Endless riches, endless resources. And the main thing we have is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is mightier than all of that. But carnally, we're outmatched carnally. But spiritually, we have Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. And that's what ultimately keeps us going, knowing that we've got the God of the universe on our side. So no matter how many shields these devils have, no matter how many companies and riches and wealth they have over us, we've got the Lord. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye might be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. And then it goes into the different components. Your loins get about with truth, the breastplate of righteousness, feet shod with preparation of the gospel, etc. The shield of faith, faith being the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Because ultimately, man, like I'm saying, brothers, man, Satan will find different ways to tempt you. It might not be you directly that Satan hits, because maybe you are ultimately just in your zone, and like Satan knows that he can't fuck with you. Well, what he'll do instead is he'll come for your woman. He'll come for your children. You might call your woman one day trying to see your child, and she'll just pick up the phone and start shouting, arguing, giving you a hard time out of nowhere. And you'll be sat there thinking, but wait a second, I ain't done nothing wrong. You're good. The children are good. They're fed. But you know what that is? That's Satan, man. Getting through the fickle nature of a woman, making her pretty much destroy your day and throw your mind. Or your child might come back and tell you some crazy shit, and you making you want to literally, give them old school type judgment. And and it's Satan trying to tempt you, because really and truly, man, in this world that we live in right now, man, evil, man, is the norm, and Satan will come at you through a variety of vices. You might be the father, maybe the father of this child's been trying to see the child, and the mother's just being a demon, thinking that she can do it on her own and not letting the father get involved. Who knows? And then, if the child had a father there, I would like to think that the man would tell him, listen, you need to man the fuck up. Have a real stern talk with him and say, listen, you're going to a robot for therapy. You're a man. Deal with it, man. They push that whole toxic masculinity shit, which ultimately was started by Edomites as well. And one of them, if not both of them, were moles. Like, bent, let's call him that. A father in the life of that child would have spoke sense into him, but he didn't have one around, and look what happened. The Lord, however, is going to make sure that none of the elect are ever deceived. Hence why Isaiah 54:17 reads, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. Now, ultimately, man, the Lord might still touch, get your family touched. Look at Job. Job lost his children. He lost his servants. He lost his wealth. Even his wife pretty much turned against him, said, curse the Most High and die. Like, you're praising this Most High. You're praising this God of yours, but he's just allowing you to get fucked up. Forget him. It's basically the energy that his wife was on. And because Job maintained his faith, the Lord blessed him with everything restored sevenfold. But what I'm getting at is your favorite son, your life's work, if the Lord deems it necessary to test you, might die. Like, you'll see them again, of course, but your daughter might get it, your cousin, your mom, dad. We pray that we don't have to endure these things, but Satan is out there, man, roaming, man, and he will test you, man, to see if you're really in the faith, if you really sincerely believe a thing like reincarnation is a thing that you really sincerely believe that you can, you know, that the Lord has power over the spirit to bring your family back if He wants to. That's the length to which sometimes we're going to be challenged, man. And you got to sincerely believe in like scriptures like Isaiah 54:17. You got to sincerely believe it, man. You got to really sincerely believe it, because the Lord is not going to give us more than we're able to endure. But like at the same time, He will test us, man. He will test you, man. And children are one of the main ways that the Lord will do that, because at the end of the day, a child is gullible. That child was a man, but he was an extremely young man. He passed the age of 12. You know, by Hebrew law, you're considered a man at that point. But you know, you can if you compare that young man to a man of the ancients, man, at the age of 12, there will be a major difference. But that just goes to show that as technology has advanced, society and people have digressed and just been degraded and gone downwards, man, in quality. That man that young man wasn't trained, man, upright to be upright. Proverbs 22:6: train a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from them. Now, of course, he was still a young man, but if that young man had been trained correctly, man, had a father in his life, but been given a manly influence, he probably would still be here today, because he would have seen that chatbot talking about, I can be your virtual therapist and help you out, whatever his name was. And he would have turned around and said, fuck that shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not down with that. And would have still been here. Probably have had a real girlfriend. Maybe would have been, you know, of course, you know, he's young, but, you know, these young people nowadays, they're still getting active. He would have at least, you know, had a real girlfriend, something real to hug on. Maybe a girl that he could, you know, spit some game into her ear, and she would genuinely be there for him, be a real bosom to lie on. But instead, he's in the spirit world now, because he took his life over a computer program, because he didn't have the correct guidance, man. It is important to, like, you know, watch over what your kids are watching. Parents nowadays will just throw a kid an iPad, and I guarantee you that woman was one of those types of parents. Like, the little kid would be crying in his younger years, throw him an iPad, you know, buy him a video game, you know, let him go on a computer. You have no idea what he's doing while she's being a single mum, just running around doing madness, probably even dating other guys, because she looked young and she looked like she was out and about on the town. And now look, she's trying to sue Google. Crazy. We'll see how that goes. But it's a sad story, man. But I just wanted to highlight this and show, like, yo, like, this is what's happening in Jake households, man. Jake children are suffering, losing self-esteem, and you know, that guy was a young man. He would have grown up, been a strapping young man. He would have got himself some women, man. But his mind, man, Satan was given access to his mind from an early age, and yeah, he took his life, man, because of the fact that you know, he wasn't raised in how to be a man properly. But this is the world we live in, unfortunately, man. This is the world we live in. Just protect your children, man. Pray to the Lord Jehovah continually. The Lord taught the disciples how to pray. Matthew's the 6th chapter of the Apostles, man. The Lord's Prayer. And, you know, that's one of the foundations, man. But pray always, because Satan's out there like a devouring lion, seeking who he may devour. And he might come at you directly. He might come at you indirectly through your family, your children, your so-called friends. Pray, man, to the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Shalom.